Welcome to 30 Minutes. I'm Rick Anthony. People who live or have lived in Delaware County take special pride in their roots. T-shirts, caps, bumper stickers, even items on a menu have the Delco moniker. My 5 children were raised on Tree Line Street in Drexel Hill. St. Dorothy's Parish, Aronimick Swim Club, Pilgrim Garden Shopping Center, even the iconic Lou the Shoe Repair were places and people that were and still are part of the unique Delco experience. Socially and in business, when one of my adult children encounters someone from Delco, the rapport is instantaneous. The immediate assumption is you must be good because you're Delco. I don't know if anyone has yet put the Delco experience in a bottle. However, my guests today have captured the scents, that's S-C-E-N-T-S, of Delco, in a catalog of homemade candles that they say bring the realness of Delco lifestyle to your home. Leon and Renee Beverly were born and raised in Delaware County. They were married in Delco and now live and work with their son in the county. 3 years ago, Leon and Renee put everything they had on the line, founded Delco Effect, a unique small business specializing in soy-based, environmentally friendly candles that capture the olfactory essence of Delco. The scents of Delco. Crazy idea? The Delaware County Chamber of Commerce didn't think so when Leon and Renee were recently selected as the 2024 Small Business Awardees as Entrepreneur of the Year. Even they have been surprised by their success. They shouldn't be. After all, they're Delco people. Welcome, Leon.
Thank you very much for having us.
Renee.
Thank you
really
for
good,
having us.
Really good to have you here. As I mentioned, had been part of the regional entrepreneurial community for over 25 years, so I know how difficult it is to start a business. Your experience has been absolutely phenomenal, off the charts.
Thank you.
Starting with your own money, nobody else's money, and a relatively small amount of money, and in 3 years like that.
2.5
I want to hear
years.
your story, and behind every success, there is a story. So what's yours? How did this happen?
Before our son was born, his name is Trey. That's why the other 3 in Delco. I got into woodworking just to, build some shelves in the house and whatnot, and, got pretty good at it. Started building other things, crates and then tables and then a desk for my wife for she's working from home.
But that's not how you made a living.
No, not at all. I was still working as a full-time hydraulic specialist, 7:30 to 5 every day in Conshohocken. That job was kind of getting, just boring to me because I was getting pretty good at my job. So, the price of wood goes through the roof during COVID, so at that point I could not afford to keep doing with the woodworking anymore. At the same time, my wife Renee here, after our son was born, decided she now can't smell regular candles anymore without getting a migraine headache. So I started to do some research on the candles, Yankee candles, Better Beyond candles, and they have phthalates, petroleum, carcinogens, all things you should not be breathing in your lungs. That's why your walls turn black. And I decided how hard to make a candle. So I bought a soy wax kit off Amazon for $31. Made Renee 4 candles here, and then she had no headaches. And then sitting in the basement one night thinking I had a pretty good idea making candles, and I came up with the lemon water ice idea right here for our first candle. And I ran up to Renee with this really ugly jar, ugly label, and I said, listen, this stinks, and I know it does outside, but what's inside smells pretty good, and I think this can be something. And she kind of laughs, and I said, I need your help to make it look nice and good and pretty for enough for women to want to buy, but nicer for a man to want to buy as well, too. And then this is what we have here. A couple of days later, we're sitting on the deck with our son's...
But at that point, did you see a business or just
a little bit,
a fun kind of thing to do?
Yeah, a little bit. We had finished watching the hit show, Mayor of Easttown, and all of the hype around Delaware County with our accent and what Kate Winslet had done to learn our accent for that role. We were talking about it on the deck, and we were trying to come up with all of the different Delcoisms that we have. Down by the creek, lemon water ice, Sunday morning,
down the shore,
like all of these things that we say that people don't realize are so unique to Delaware County. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there and we were like, what if we made the scents correlate to these names? And it would make people think about home and think about Delco. And like you said, like you have such a rapport with, people that you meet.
And we kind of laughed about it. At first, it was like a joke. And then I just went in the basement and I literally, for the next honestly, God, truth, 2 months.
Yeah.
Put everything I had into learning how to make candles, learning the science behind the fragrances, where to get the proper oils from, where to get the best wax from, how to make candles in general. I did all the research, and all my time went into that. If I wasn't with my wife and my newborn son at home, it was at work. Even at work, I was doing other stuff for the candle stuff. When I was there in bed sleeping, I was doing candle work.
Are you still working out of your house?
Yes, in my garage. Our garage, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we decided to launch in September, a few months later, and that's the
September
peak.
of 2021.
So I started in July of 21, and then 2 months later, 2.5 months later, I perfected everything by that point. And if you're going to do it, go in big and see what happens. So I had a couple of friends that
shows.
Yeah, had a couple of friends that believed in the product as well too. And
did your family and friends think you were crazy?
yes,
Oh yeah.
every single one.
Absolutely.
We were actually on vacation with her family, and it was just in New Jersey, and I made some candles that I hadn't burned down there and whatnot. And I remember saying, I'm going to make this a business at this point. And they all, just kind of laughed.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, driving home, man, why'd they all laugh? But they don't have the same passion, or they didn't have the same vision I had.
Yeah.
So I kind of was annoyed at first, but that was more of just like, it was motivation. Well, why can't I make this a business? I said, I'm going to do it, so let's try to do it. Now, again, I've said many of things over the course of us being together that I never did anything with, so the reaction was warranted. But in my head, this felt different. It felt, something else was making me move forward with it and to keep going with it. And that's really just kept pushing forward with it.
Did you have the same confidence early on?
I am more of a pessimist, I think, out of the two of us. He's definitely more of the optimist, but and there's risk involved with this. Like you said, it's a multi-billion-dollar, industry that we're entering, and what makes our stuff unique. So at first I was like, this is a great hobby. We're in the middle of COVID. There's only so many Netflix shows that you can watch together as a couple. So if we can make our time useful and have an additional stream of income, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I think once I saw the hype from the community, once we entered those shows and the events throughout the neighborhoods, then I was like, we've got something here. Like, we can make this into a real business. So.
And when did the world find out about you?
So we
Delco Times.
We launched in September of 21, and then we were in 3 locations throughout the year of 2022. Alexia's 3 wholesale locations, yes.
Wholesale
retail locations, yes. So people were buying our product to sell in their shops.
Okay.
Alexia's gift box in Havertown was the first one, and then the Napolitano Brothers in Springfield was the second one, and Lunch Break Vintage in Swarthmore was the third one. So all through that year, we just kind of did craft shows, and then last year I really hit the pavement running, and we ended up, at the end of last year, we ended up being in 27 wholesale locations. We had done 75 craft shows last year. The year started off with MLK Day, with us being on the cover of the paper, and then a month later, we found out we won the Entrepreneur of the Year award for the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. So,
Word spread quick.
Word spread very quick, and then people loved our product. We've been fortunate to have people who have been in high places. Trish McFarland of the Delco Chamber of Commerce, she's the president. I went to high school with her. I've known her for 30 years at this point as well too. Huge proponent of our product, huge promoter of our product. Again, Rob Napolitano, same thing, huge promoter of our product. And then the word spread of just the names, and then email request and just Instagram request, and then people, hey, you want to be in our craft show? Hey, you want to be in our craft show? So
we're born and raised in Delco. We never left. Where our roots are here, so our network has expanded.
Sure.
Exponentially.
How much of your revenue is online, your website?
Not very much. Everything is basically from the wholesale and then the craft shows. Wholesale, we surges in online when the paper comes out or someone promotes us on a social media platform.
And of course around the holidays.
And around
too.
the holidays,
we get a lot of business through the website.
Particularly during the holidays, you're really competing with all the other seasonal scents, pine and traditional. How do you compete against those?
The names.
With the names, a lot of our products are given to people as gifts, either to family members or to friends that have moved away from Delco. Kids that are away at school, their parents see something and want to give them, a piece of home to take back to school with them. So again, we think about the scents and how we can create those combinations to correlate to the names, and every reaction that we get is, oh, this reminds me of this, or oh, Blizzard of '96, I got married that weekend, or down the shore, we always go to Ocean City, New Jersey. So you always have a piece of home, I think.
I mentioned to you that had a lot of experience with startups and early stage companies over the years, over 25 years. And so often straight up and then straight down. Are you worried about that cliff?
I don't think we're necessarily worried about it. I think we're growing at a very steady pace. Having worked in hospitality myself, I see a lot of businesses, restaurants, they open and they have this vast menu, right? But only maybe 4 or 5 things on that menu are really good. I think with the niche product that we have, and it's so unique, we're growing at a steady pace because we're perfecting the product that we have. So we're not trying to, have so many different types of candles or color jars, and really we want to perfect what we have, and that is proven successful.
How do you perfect it? The scent?
Just the scents, yeah. I mean, the scents and then the names as well too.
Yeah.
So the scents, like I said, we do is trial by error. Different ratios, sometimes a scent is extremely strong, like chocolate, a very strong scent. We have a black and white shake candle. So when I pair it together, 1-to-1 ratio, all you smell is chocolate. So it's...
How do you test the scents? You have a panel?
We use Q-tips,
blends?
actually. So there's blotch strips and there's Q-tips people can use. Online, I saw people using Q-tips, and of course you have a box of Q-tips in your house all the time, so I started using those. And you just dip it into the oil and it saturates it enough. And if you want to add more of one scent, you put it in an empty jar. And if you want to add more of one scent, you add another Q-tip, and just ration.
It's like a ratio trial and error.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be able to continue to self-fund, or will you going to have to look outside for funding to grow?
We can keep self-funding now. To get to where we want to go, I think we're going to need some outside funding at some point.
Yeah.
We're probably getting to that point now, just because space-wise in our house and our garage is just getting tight. We already have a storage unit now housing our actual stuff, and then some candle stuff as well too. Right. So we have ideas and plans, but I think at some point we're going to need some kind of funding. But we're growing right now. We're growing at a rate where it's not killing us and it's not making us super, so we can't handle it.
The accolades help too. I mean, we have all of that to kind of be in our back pocket. So when we do ask for the outside funding, we can say...
And you are profitable now?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah, so much so that he was able to quit his full-time job last September and make this his full-time job.
That's more
6 months and I have no
You mentioned
complaints.
Your vision. What is your vision for this?
To be in every home in Delco. But also too, we have different ideas out there. We do candle workshops as well that we are promoting as well too. We have certain places in the area that have like Drexel Brook in Drexel Hill, Normandy Farms in Plymouth Meeting. They have space there. We vendor out basically, and they have team building events.
What about Hallmark? I think it's Norman who has all the Hallmark.
Yeah, we have to look into
that. We have, like I said, I just quit my job 6 months ago, so we have 1,000 places to go to and 1,000 names for candles. So we're getting there slowly but surely. But we're so busy now with the wholesale and craft shows as well too. We're kind of just making that work for the time being.
But you could expand your distribution by working through distributors.
Yes. So right now we have. Out of the Delco area, we are in Serendipity in Chestnut Hill, and then we are in Rooted Farmstead in Bellefonte, PA, right outside of Penn State. So those are the 2 only places we're in right now outside of Delaware County. But we customize labels as well, so we can move to any area and customize it to the town. Pick this model. It might still be the Delco Effect for the name, but you might have a candle that says we have a mainline candle. It might just say Wayne or something unique to the area of this area as well too. Lancaster Ave or Route 30, you can call it kind of whatever.
If there are 100, I'm picking a number, but if there are 100 possibilities, different names, how many of the 100 have you already captured?
Oh, we're at 33 right now. 33 cents we have right now, yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot more on the docket.
and are there other products you can introduce under the same label?
Possibly. I actually just made my first poopery spray, and it actually worked out pretty well.
Like room sprays.
Like room sprays or air fresheners.
Right.
I contemplated dabbling in car air fresheners, but I haven't gotten there yet. But what else was the other one too we want to do? Soaps. Soaps possibly as well, but we're not there yet. That's still an idea that's just there. But
have you hit all the seasons? Christmas, Easter, Valentine's?
We try to launch new scents every season and pair them up with either holidays or times of year and Yeah, so it's we're trying to not grow too much too fast.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart.
But releasing
On the other
1
hand,
to 2 cents.
all the opportunities are so enticing.
I know,
Yes,
and we
they
get
are.
so many great ideas and suggestions all the time.
Now, could there be a Monco and
Sure.
a Ducks?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can take this model and we can, take it on the road with us if we wanted to enter shows in those areas.
You can't protect this, right? You can't.
I don't-
What legal protection?
Our logo is
We've
trademarked.
trademarked the logo, and that's really as far as we've gotten right now. But we can definitely look into anything else that we can try and protect.
As far as patents for the scents that we have, because we create most
Yeah,
of
but
the
it's really
scents as well
speed to
too.
market. How quickly you could get to the market, the other markets, Monco, Ducks, and so on.
Right.
And I guess, well, do you have an exit plan? Do you want to be acquired, or do you want to continue to grow it as a family business so
I think-
Trace can one day be
would-
mixing?
I would
Yeah.
like it to be a family business.
Yeah.
In my head, as the business mindset I have now, if someone were to offer me money to purchase our company, I know I can then double that money they're offering me. Because they're offering you this amount of money to do it, then they think they can grow it as well too. And then I know in my head I can grow it the same they can. But I like to keep it in-house and keep it a family-owned business for the time being. I'm not saying there's not, that point at some point, but right now, I like what we're doing and like how we can grow and expand. And I love my son knowing that, his parents are both business owners and he can step into that business if he wants to when he gets older.
What is the Delco pour? It's a category, right?
It's a category, yeah. So it's our larger size candle collection. It's kind of a nod to when you go out to a local bar, and I like my wine. He's more of a beer drinker, and you get a bartender that's got a little bit of a heavy hand. So you get a Delco pour maybe for happy hour that day. And so when we were getting requests for the candles to be in a larger size, I said, well, what better size than a Delco pour size?
Yeah.
So it's another nod to Delaware County.
Yeah. I think it's great. I really do. I think it's wonderful.
Thank
It's
you.
a great story. I'm concerned, though, again, based on my experience. My concern is you got a flash. And how do you avoid your being just a flash in the pan 3 years? But there are, God forbid, so many things that can go wrong. The market could dry up. Another whatever could freeze the market. All of those things. What plans do you have, if you're able to plan for those kinds of contingencies, to assure that you'll at least be stable and then continue to grow?
I think entering more, new names into the market, like you said before, growing out of Delaware County as well too. Like you said, keeping it fresh.
We're also pivoting depending on the season. We know what our slow season is. I think what we're really trying to do is market the experiences that are most popular during that time of year. So January through March, everyone's already done their Christmas or holiday shopping.
Sure.
So what are we promoting now? We're promoting our candle workshops, our experiences. People can book these for bridal showers, baby showers, like just
Team building
get-togethers,
events.
team building events. So we've partnered with Normandy Farms and the Drexel Brook. If there are corporate meetings or conferences and they need a team building activity, they would hire us as a third party to come in. And we really capitalize off of those types of experiences that keep us sustainable throughout those slow periods. And then also building up our wholesale partners as well, and making sure that those remain consistent every couple of months and having them on the right cadence so that they're ordering consistently throughout the course of the year.
You seem to be spend a lot of time on the road at displays. I've seen pictures
Oh
of
yeah,
you.
events and
Yeah. It's time consuming, and I don't know what kind of return you get on that investment, just the time.
Very good.
But is it? What?
It's worth it.
It's very good.
It's very
yeah.
worth it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. September through December is our busiest time, especially with those craft fair events. And
Yes.
that's when people really start doing their holiday shopping. So that's candle season. So we enter as much as we can, knowing that, we have a 4-year-old son. And so, Leon does most of those events. And sometimes we don't want to miss out on 2 really popular event weekends. So I'll work one and he'll work another. And we have the help from family and friends to watch our little guy. So yeah, it's tough, but we've been making it work for the time being.
You sure have.
And in my mind, anything more than $1 at a show that I made at my 9 to 5 job or 7:30 to 5 job, anything more than $1 more than I made that day is more than worth it to me because I work less hours. Like prep time's not that much, and then just the show itself, meeting all new people,
That's the
experience. That's the best part about it is meeting new people and and the reaction to the candles. So for me, it's not work. She did ask me, probably a year ago, do you feel like you're working? I said it doesn't feel like work at all. I can do my own schedule. I can make it my own pace.
How many hours a week do you put in?
We try to keep it to a normal,
probably
35 to 40. I'm working during the day, he's working during the day.
And then if she goes to bed early, I'll go downstairs and do some stuff at night, labeling jars or making more candles. I get up early in the morning and do the same thing. So I'll probably say I work 8 to 10 hours spread out through the course of the whole entire day on average. But I probably do something every single day, 7 days a week at least with the candles,
Is it conceivable that corporations could have their own scent? Could McDonald's have its own scent?
Sure. A lot of our wholesale partners have their own custom scent for their shop. And we'll customize the label so that it would have their business name or a tagline or a catchphrase that is unique to them.
You're already private labeling?
We're already doing that, yeah. We're customizing a lot of our candles for the businesses that we're in.
Yeah. I'm still more concerned about you've reached this point. What's the breakthrough? How are you going to break through?
I think it would be like that big contract, that big wholesale partner that is a major franchise, whether it be a name brand store or
like Anthropology, Terrain, like they're local businesses that are based out of Philadelphia or in the area. So, being in a place like that would be, suffice to get that one big, huge order. Like we got Linville Orchards was the order we got that we were allowed to quit my job. So we got that and saw the money from that and said, we can make this work. If I had 50 extra hours a week to put towards this business, then I could make this work. We can't do that one sale every single day at this point, but we can make enough money to keep it going and keep us afloat.
But there are major distributors, as you may already know, who, for example, distribute all kinds of products to all of the big brand stores, CVS, Target, all of them. Do you know any of those people to get into that market? We
kind of like the local feel we have. Instead of being in those big chain places that are national, we like to keep those little mom and pop shops. We want to be in those places. Like little corners in Swarthmore, Ridley Park, Ridley, on the main line as well too. I like those places, the small business owners. I want to be in those shops. Even though Anthropology, Terrain, I mentioned those two earlier, even though they're a bigger place, they're still local. Only a couple places here and there, Devon, Wayne, Glen Mills. So I want to keep it to those kind of places, instead of being like in the Targets or the CVS's or those places, if we can. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but I like to keep that local.
We'd have to figure out the manufacturing side of it if we were to.
I can't handle all that right now either.
Your margins would also be less if you were in the big
so we would have
stores.
to really talk through how we would, produce at that point at that type of volume.
If you wanted to do that part. But like I said, the small mom and pop shops to me are more than enough to suffice for the time being. There's tons of them, and the farther we branch out, the more you're going to find. And shows like this, we'll get our name out there very well. So,
at what point do you have to get out of the garage in terms of volume?
Hopefully soon.
In my head, before the end of the year, I'd imagine. I would imagine before the end of before the fall season starts. That's rushing it. But I mean, with the amount of work we have to do with wholesale and then just prepping for the craft shows and things we do, because like I said, we did probably about 35 to 40 craft shows last year, 50 craft shows from September through the end of the year, as well as providing, new candles for the 25 wholesale locations we are in as well too.
So what's your projection for this year, 2024, in terms of the number of units you'll produce? Not revenue, just the number of units.
So last year we did about 6,000 units. I would say we'll easily double that this year, if not triple the year.
Yeah, I would say that as well.
And you see that kind of growth for the foreseeable future?
I mean, we've already gotten into a few more locations wholesale-wise. And of course, the partners that we currently have are consistently ordering, and some of them we didn't get until the middle or the end of the year last year. So I think we could definitely double the number of units.
What's the potential liability? You had headaches from other candles. What's the potential liability? Have you talked to a lawyer or an insurance agent to cover whatever liability exposure you might have?
We have the liability insurance through the company. We have our warning labels on the bottom of the candle, so as long as you don't put your candle by a curtain or have your
Yeah.
pets knock it over, you're fine.
We also provide a thank you card that has the do's and don'ts of what to do with your candle. You shouldn't be burning it more than 3 to
4 hours at a time.
at the max. So we're taking all the measures that we need to take in order to educate people on proper candle care.
And then as far as the wax and everything else, I mean, I've done enough research to realize that the wax we're using is pure soy wax. The oils we use are all, non-toxic and, phthalate free. And those things in there are the ones that causes the allergies or the soot.
Is this a 4-hour burn?
Oh, this is a 70-hour burn for this candle. The 9-ounce candles burn for 40 hours.
Yeah.
Really?
But you really just shouldn't keep your candle lit for more than 4 hours
At a time.
Why?
It just kind of, it's really not good for the candle.
It gets hotter at that point too, and you're not wasting the candle. You get the best burn when you burn it for less than 4
And
hours.
it helps last longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can burn it for longer. I mean, our candles actually burn evenly all the way down to the base. And it still lasts a very long time.
Okay. Do you still get those wild ideas for other products?
Of course.
Of course, all the time.
And you have to sit on it?
I have to
Yes,
reel them back in a little bit sometimes.
I had gift baskets one day in my head, and she's like, "Stop it."
But, yeah, this works.
Yeah, this is definitely working. That's what she said. This works right now.
This is working. Let's just stick with this for now.
So I like to put myself out there and be the risk taker, and she's the one who reels me back in and says, "Slow down. Let's start here, and then we'll go from there." And I'm like just jump and figure out what happens. But we bounce off well with each other.
Yeah, he's a jump in with both feet kind of guy. I'm more of like test the waters and then dive in. So.
Well, I can understand you're wanting to build it as a family business. That's a nice idea. On the other hand, if you're onto something and someone were to come to you in the not too distant future, I don't know what, at 6,000 units, you're not big enough.
Right.
At 120,
Right.
you're not big enough. But it's a big market. You're beginning to penetrate the market. It's conceivable that somebody could come to you. I guess if the money was right, you'd sell it and go on to your next bright idea.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that works out. But yeah, it's not
It's not off the table.
It's not off the table.
Yeah.
Each of these, and for the record, I bought these, right? And so this is for each of my 5 kids, my Delco kids. And the one down the shore, for example, my one daughter-in-law and my son, they love the shore. Avalon, Stone Harbor down there, they rent every year. What does that smell like? Now, you said you open a window and you said
that first day of vacation. First day of vacation, you go and open the sliding door or the window to have your coffee on the deck, and you get that woof of like sea salt ocean breeze.
But how do you do that? How do you get that scent?
A couple different mixtures from our candle supplier. They have a few different scents there. I ordered probably about 3 or 4 different ones, and we just, again, mixed and matched, trial and error.
Are these secret formulas you have?
These are our formulas, yes. Most of the candles we make are things I've come up with different combinations of scents.
How do you protect the formulas? Do you have?
We don't yet, really.
You can't?
Well, you have.
I don't know if we can't. We just haven't yet.
Yeah. We know the ratios and the formulas that he uses. Well, we start out with like a 1-to-1 ratio. If we have 2 different scents in mind and we want to combine them, then we'll do a 1-to-1 ratio. And if we're like, oh no, this is too much of this, we need to add more of this. So it is customized for what we want it to be.
Well, I'm happy to meet you. It's a great story. As I said, you've had a phenomenal ride, and I hope to God it continues. Leon, Renee.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank
My
you.
guests today have been Leon and Renee Beverly. The company is Delco Effect. I'm Rick Anthony. This is 30 Minutes. Take very good care of yourselves.